In the Lugansk People's Republic, the vote can already be hailed as successful. Now, again, more than 70% of all the population that is eligible to vote have already done so, and that's more than enough to close the polling stations right now and start counting the yes and no votes. But those who still haven't showed up, those who still haven't attended the referendum, they will have a chance. They will be able to seize their chance to change their future today and tomorrow. Now, this has come against the backdrop of major security concerns because Kiev authorities and the Kiev military has been trying to intimidate the local population here. They have been shelling cities, towns and villages adjacent to Lugansk, to the capital, for the past 4 days, and before that as well, obviously sending a message as do not vote. In the neighboring town of Alchevsk, people have been voting in the basements because, well, they couldn't go outside out of fear of shellings. But as you can see by the official figures, this has failed to hamper, this has failed to strong-arm people into not voting, into staying home. Now, again, some Western media outlets, they have pointed out the fact that armed men are accompanying, are following members of the mobile election committees, those men and women who are going door to door to collect signatures, to collect votes. And they have been trying to, the journalists, Western journalists, some of them have been trying to portray this as that the people here are being forced into voting by armed men. But in fact, this couldn't be further from the truth. Again, as I've said, security concerns are very grave here, and the authorities are taking them very, very seriously. So such armed entourage, if I may say so, is for the purposes of making the vote safer and to prevent any tragedy from happening. So again, today is the 4th day, and tomorrow is going to be the final and the most decisive day, because so far all of the voting has been around the mobile voting commissions, so polling booths and stations. They have been coming to people and not vice versa. So they have been coming to the locals and providing the opportunity to safely vote without the necessity of collecting large crowds of people. Tomorrow will be the day when, well, traditional stationary voting booths and voting polling stations will open, and that, well, the authorities fear that that creates the possibility for, well, something nasty to happen, that large crowds of people might attract terrorist attacks and might, well, basically become security vulnerable security-wise. But so far the vote has been very streamlined, very smooth, and everyone here, the authorities and the population, hope that the vote will close, that the referendum will end up safely, securely and, well, successfully.
Well, despite the fact that Ukrainian nationalists continue shelling the city of Donetsk, well, in the rest of the Donetsk People's Republic, referendum is going according to plan. Now, according to international observers, according to Russian observers as well, all the voting is done in accordance with laws and regulations. Now, this is the 4th day of the referendum, and mobile referendum committees continue going door to door and offering people to vote. And this is happening all over the Republic. Now, those referendum committees consist mostly of teachers from high schools, lecturers from universities. Of course, they're accompanied by one member of the police trying to ensure the safety. Now, I've walked around with these mobile groups as well. Mind you, it's not very safe anywhere in the Donetsk People's Republic. For example, in Gorlovka, which is only about 40 kilometers away from where I am, 2 of the members of this mobile referendum groups received concussions as they were shelled trying to perform their duty. Nevertheless, people are happy to show their free will. We spoke to some of them, and this is what they had to say.
When the conflict started, I was only 14 years old. Now I'm an adult, and I'm here to vote in favor of joining Russia.
Since the 1990s, we've been thinking about why we're here and why we've had to take a different path of development. But now it seems we're finally going to return to where we all came from.
I feel so happy. I hope we'll finally join Russia. We've been through a lot these past 8 years. I'm an assistant to the local deputy, so as soon as we join, we'll work on recovering everything.
Now, Ukrainian nationalists continue shelling Donetsk People's Republic. Over the last 24 hours, at least 300 various shells landed on the city of Donetsk, Gorlovka, and other towns as well. Now, those include high-caliber shells, including those supplied by NATO countries. Meanwhile, President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, said that when the referendum finishes and the results are in, there will be no ground for negotiation between Moscow and Kiev.